Hi, everyone. It's Shannon. I'm just making sure there's enough light. Um, oh, wow. It's so good to be here. I'm just going to take a look down and get situated. Um, all right. I hope the lighting is okay. Can everybody hear me? I have not been on in a while and just want to make sure sound is good. I'll wait and see. All right. Hello, hello. Nice to see you. Oh, so nice to see you. All right. So I think the light is a little bright, but I think we'll be okay. Welcome to the Goddess Report. Wonderful. Thank you, Azra. This is Shannon Port, and I am here today to talk to you about Gaia's alchemy, and we are meeting live on the Taurus full moon. We had a partial lunar eclipse in the middle of the night last night, and it was the longest, wonderful. It was the longest eclipse that we've had, and I think it was 580 years. So I did not get an opportunity to look at it. I was sound asleep, but so good to see everyone. So good to see everyone. So it's great to be here. I actually, leading up to the live stream, my power went out 2 times. And so in the past couple hours, when I normally sit down and I channel it in, I usually write for about 45 minutes to an hour before I came on. My power just went out. The weather, it's sunny out, and there's no reason that I could see. 2 times it went out for about a half hour. And so I was kind of panicked because I had no electricity and no internet, no social media at all. And I wasn't sure if it would work out, but we're on. And I didn't get to do that writing. And so we'll do a little different format, but I have lots of information to talk about. And so I want to introduce you to the Goddess Report formally. I'm just going to tell you what the Goddess Report is if you're new. And going forward, it's been 3 months since I was last here. I was last here on Lionsgate, August 7th. And so it's been over 3 months. And I'm really happy to be here. I'm going to tell you all about what I've been up to. And so here's the Goddess Report. So some of you already know the Goddess Report. So good to see you. I've had dreams about a lot of you. It's crazy how when you connect even online, there's like this astral connection that comes in, and I've been dreaming about you guys. So it's really nice to be here. The Goddess Report, for those of you who've been with me, know that it came in back in April of 2020. It was right after the pandemic started, and it came in with a lot of electricity. It was like a bolt that just took hold of me for about 3 days, and it was just a receiving of the direction that I would be taking my work in these coming years. And at the time that I received it, I was shown that it was a new media, like a divine feminine media. And so that's why it was called the Goddess Report, which was kind of a little bit of a funny name for me because it has a little bit more mainstream kick to it. It's kind of news-like. So the Goddess Report was founded to be a new form of communication and a new kind of media platform. I got the goddessreport.org. I don't have it up yet, but I plan to develop that, and possibly some of you will be coming on with me someday to produce some global news, some global goddess news. So it was just received that we are moving into a time of a new communication, new sound current, new power of the word that is respected, that is honored, and that is tuned in to the subtle frequencies of life in our reality, and also tuned to the human soul and spirit. It was shown that we need to begin to start the journey into seeing each other as what we really are, which is souls occupying these bodies. We are beyond personalities. We are much greater. And so in order to develop that vision, there's some alchemy that we have to do. and on my Instagram account at the top, I say Divine Feminine Visionary, because that's what this is. This is meant to be a Divine Feminine Visionary broadcast that is about healing at this time, and about bringing us together at this time, and about crossing into really, truly the new earth, and activating an excitement and a joy, and even an intellectualism, and a creativity, an art, a creative power, a new understanding of our sexual energy, and much more. And so that our media is based on attack. And it's an old polarity system where it's gotten so crazy. And I'm going to talk a little bit about that. But this is what the Goddess Report was meant to be. Now, the combination that I bring in is that I've worked with a deep, deep well of wisdom that has been layer upon layer over, it's about 29 years of active duty in this work. And so it's opened up some abilities to see some things that I haven't even started sharing here, because it just hasn't been the time. But and to kind of seed the planet so that we all are able to really begin to raise it up. We're ascending, we're raising it up, and create the mothership, is that we turn this planet into truly what it is meant to be, and just a beautiful place, because communication is really creative. And when human beings start to get out of the hypnotic trance of what we call our regular communication platforms, and we start to tune into what is possible, it's going to have a rippling effect and a healing effect. So the Goddess Report is a combination of, I call it the Trinity codes. It will be 3 things every time we meet. And so again, happy Taurus full moon today and lunar eclipse. This is what we are going to do on the Goddess Report. We will be looking at live global events, current global events, and just I'm shown a format that I'll be doing that in, and I'm not going to look specifically today. We'll talk about some things, but it's really to take a look at what's happening on the ground. What is happening? What are the 2 narratives? What are the narratives? What is the official narrative? And what do we think about that? And the talking about Taurus and the North Node in Taurus today is going to give huge insight in how we can develop our perception and tune it to a higher frequency. Today, my guidance was telling me that it's called master frequencies. I wrote this down somewhere. We're going to be looking at master frequencies for this tipping point that we're in. But we're going to train ourselves in this platform to tune, to see with the true wisdom of the heart and the intellect married together, but with the profound ability to tap into, okay, this is what's happening on the shell level, on the egoic shell, the personality level, but what's happening in the hearts of people? What really needs to happen? Communication platforms are changing. Even mainstream media platforms are changing. They're starting to realize, I've seen this a lot happening, and it's a very good thing finally, and it has to do with the fact that because we have so many podcasters now, the podcasters have really surpassed media. They have to be able to keep up. The podcasters are doing something very interesting right now, and actually hope to turn this into a real podcast, but there's so many people I want to connect with and speak with on this platform as we go in 2022. What's happening is that these people out there are connecting with each other. Even if they have polar opposite views, slowly but surely, they're starting to come together and have conversations. It's been happening for a while. But the magic that happens when you get people with opposing views or even opposing ideologies and values, which is Taurus, and you start to talk about it in a real way. It doesn't mean there's not a hot debate, but it means that there's actually listening happening rather than just attack. And the forms of communication we've all become so used to, which are filled with a lot of different tricks to grip us and to take our creative energy and steer it. they're really listening to each other, and actually finding that listening to each other is so much more interesting. It's so much more interesting to hear people who really want to say, "Oh, why do you believe that? Wow, that's way out from what I believe or how I was raised. Why? And where is it coming from?" In doing that, in communicating, we're going to break down some of the barriers that we have created to wisdom, because we get so hard in our ways that even if you're a really empathic or even spiritual soul, what's happened with a lot of spiritual communities over the past 2 years, which I will talk more about as well, is that kind of feminine energy that is empathic or receptive, or doesn't have a lot of boundary, can and that is connected to the unseen, wants to believe certain things at certain times, or can be harnessed. When with big groups of emotional energy, that energy can be harnessed and then take it's actually it what has happened is everything has been politicized. And so a lot of true souls who have come to really, really uncover the truth, or be a voice for truth and for liberation and for awakening, have kind of been targeted and used and manipulated in certain ways by partial truths. And so what happens, it's very dangerous when you take some things that appeal and you say, yeah, I'm all about that, but then you mix it in with another very specific kind of language that moves energy in a direction that you might not even be aware of. This has been happening really, really seriously. I'm kind of avoiding using the words that are gonna like go out, gonna flag it, but maybe we will look at that as we go forward. So we're going to talk about what's happening on the planets. That's one. Number two, we're going to look at the astros, the Sophia astro codes, and that's what we do here. We're going to start to bring in that kind of wisdom, not in a woo-woo way, but more in a which obviously we do go far out and we get really spiritual, but in a way that is also very practical, and that stimulates the creative imagination. Because when we're working with these archetypes, what happens is we get really, our creative juices start flowing and we activate our vision, and that's what we're talking about. We begin to see. So we'll definitely bring in the astrology in various ways, and especially looking at the equinoxes and solstices and the major events and the major transits. As today, we're looking at the North Node in Taurus, and then the archetypal download. The third part of the Trinity code is the archetypal stream, where I will tune in, and I have several really powerful messages that have come in the past few months that I didn't put out because I haven't been active. And those are all going to come in too. There's a lot coming in. So and then at the end, part of the archetypal download will be, and I'm really excited to say this, I'm giving it quite a long introduction, but this will be the beautiful part that I'm really so excited about, that I'm shown that we need to meditate together every time I come on. So the meditation that we've done, the past two videos, the Light Body Stargate, we called it the Magdalene Stargate, and then we did the Lionsgate Stargate, but it's from Light Body Yoga Teachings, and we're going to be doing the Light Body Stargate every single time we meet at the end. And so you can stay for the end. The Light Body Stargate could be anywhere from 3 to 5 minutes to 10 minutes. I think we have gone as long as 15 minutes, but I'm going to find just we'll dial it into the right amount of time where we can start to, that will be the energy field that we step into, where we activate our creative imagination and we become what I call divine feminine visionary, but you can call it whatever you'd like, but we're going to actually do the visionary work here and open our heart centers as we do it, and get used to communicating from our higher communication. And you may find that you start to tune into certain people that show up on the videos and start to have a connection. It's going to be so great. It's going to be so beautiful. And so we do the global events, we look at the astro codes, and then we do the download, which leads into the Light Body Stargate. So I'm going to break for a second, look down, see if there's any questions, and then we'll start, and I'll talk about the North Node in Taurus. I will be talking more about the North Node in Taurus over the next months. So we're getting a start after this long introduction, but we're going to be talking about that a lot. So I'm just going to take a peek down. Hear you loud and clear. How is everybody? Does anyone want to make any comments about how you're doing, or what's going on? Oh, thank you for the thumbs up. Please subscribe if you want to be part of the Goddess Report. And somebody said they did not get a notification today. We will look into that and see what we can do about that. But please subscribe to the channel, to Shannon Port. I'm out of this long time inner plane process, and so now I will be meeting with you much more frequently, and I'm shown we need to do that. So a lot of changes coming, so please subscribe. And yeah, thank you for the thumbs up already. Give a thumbs up if you enjoy the video. All right, so I'm just going to take a peek down, see who's here, what's up. Nice to see some faces that I recognize. Where have I been? Okay, well, I'll tell you where I've been. I thought of you yesterday and looked up that. A big part of what's happening with all of us right now is that we all really need to connect. Even if we don't know each other in person, we need to start, when we think of each other with love and with healing. Everybody, there's been so much we've been through. There's been so much grief and trauma and suffering. So many tragedies have happened with people, just slipping away from this world because of the loneliness and the isolation. And a big part of this platform is that we start to really value Taurus's value. And it has to do with community and friendship as well, and what we create. So nice to see you. Oh my God, I feel like I want to say some names. Oh, I'm glad you made it. Okay, but nervous because I don't want to stay behind in the old. Anna says, I'm Sun Taurus like you. I'm excited about the big shift, but nervous because I don't want to stay behind in the old. Oh, okay. I understand you. Yay. Thank you. Okay. So, all right. Okay. I'm so happy to be here. So anyway, my Uranus is in my 9th house of publishing and broadcasting. And today at this full moon, which is conjunct Algol, Mars in Scorpio was hitting it direct. It was a direct opposition to Uranus in my 9th house. So I look at that as why my broadcasting was a little bit wobbly. Okay, so here's what we're going to talk about. And I'll be looking at notes, but then we maybe stream in some. So Taurus, we've reached a tipping point. This is where I've been. I've been working on the inner plane. I work on the inner plane very, very deeply. I've mentioned this before, but over the past 3 months and even the year before, most of my work throughout the day, I've been even away from a lot of active work on some of my platforms, has been processing what is happening emotionally and on the level of communication on the planet, because there's so much confusion in narratives, as we know. I mean, there's information has become so polarized that it has the emotional body of the human race sunk down very, very, very low. And I was shown, even for myself, going forward and having a voice for the goddess in this platform, that I have to be really discerning and understanding of what's what, of what voice is what, because one of the things we cannot do as the North Node enters Taurus, so make note of this, we cannot, so happy about that. We cannot slander another human being. We cannot slander another name. The power of our word is going to amplify and speed up. With Uranus in Taurus, Uranus is the highest level of the mind, and it's also kind of dynamic and explosive change, revolutionary change. But at the highest level, Uranus is connected to the power of the word. And so with Uranus in Taurus for these next, I'm not sure how many more years exactly are left, of maybe about 5.5. And the North Node now coming in, entering Taurus, what we speak karmically will come right back to us. And it will influence the world. I know what I'm going to do on this one. I just did a writing that I posted on Facebook. I'm going to go over that, had huge information in it. We have to be very, very, very mindful and discerning on how we speak, what we say about another human being, both on the outer and in the inner. So what we think as well is very, very powerful. This is what I've been working with for the past 3 months. And I had to do a lot of clearing in my own work, because in order to hold certain energies, you have to clear some things. Because what happens is Uranus is this high voltage energy that comes in, and it can make things really crazy, because when it hits you, if you're not ready for it, whatever isn't clear, it creates chaos in your field and in your emotional body. And so right now it's seeking certain souls, but as you're anchoring in higher light, this isn't about being a Puritan. It isn't about being all love and light or being in some denial kind of spirituality that it doesn't honor our emotions. Nothing to do with that. This has to do with the real alchemy of understanding what is the frequency of your body and your soul and your emotional body and mental body. And that's why they want to, my guidance team is calling it master frequencies. We are beginning to anchor in master frequencies that allow us to connect the circuit so that we have that circuit. So the power of the word is huge. It's misused everywhere on news platforms, and it's so angry. I watched a lot of news for a while, and I still check in. And I'm happy to see some changes happening, but it became normalized to insult people, to attack people, it's very normalized on all of our, comment sections. The meaner, the better. In fact, Facebook, we know about, it was in the news cycle about 3 weeks ago that Facebook, their algorithms are based on anger and rage. And so whatever can get people the most angry gets the most views, the most likes, the most traffic, and is the most desirable. So let's just take a moment with that. I mean, this is a fact. This has come out. It's just, it's a fact. I know that in my work. I know that when you, use what it's called, clickbait that makes people emotionally charged, you get views, but the thing is you're putting that energy out. So you have to understand it's all about output, input, the reciprocal relationship between the outer and the inner is what is happening with Taurus in the, the North Node in Taurus, because it's activating the outer world and it's making it more dynamic. And the light that's in the atomic light that's in matter is getting more active, and you can see it. It's there, but then there's also this dense energy of the anger and the rage. So, all right, just one moment. So Taurus, let's just talk about what Taurus is. Taurus is ruled by Venus. So we're going to be healing the shadow side of Venus, which is huge. Taurus is, I have my sun in Taurus. I also have Saturn in Taurus, and I also have my 10th house, my midheaven, which rules your career and your work in the world. So I have a lot of Taurus and a lot of Venus. And so I've been working with these energies. So it's interesting how everything I've worked with is coming in right now. It's all meant to be at its highest point right now for the next couple of years. But we have to heal the shadow of Venus and the inversion of Venus. Venus has to do with, Venus and its shadow can be envy, competition, jealousy, overindulgence in materialism, which brings in a kind of a Lilith energy. And interesting, and today the full moon lunar eclipse was conjunct the star Algol, which in the ancient teachings was comparable to Lilith. Now Lilith has a dark and a light side. We know that, but the dark side is really, really, really. There's so much we'll talk about that as we go. It's the lowest part of the human in the underworld. It's just that carnal side of us and when Venus touches that, it's all about what do we see on our social media platforms? We see competition. We see that the constant beaming of the outer body with not always honoring the soul. There's nothing wrong with the body. The body's beautiful. The body is Taurus. It is Taurus. And but there is it's creating in the subconscious of the collective and the collective feminine that we all carry this feeling of not being worthy, of comparing ourselves constantly to other people, of it kind of brings us out of our depth and into our more shallow side without even, not even that it makes us bad. It just disconnects us from some of the depth we need to see each other as souls. So let's just take a moment and talk about what that means. It's really important. And I always bring this back to the mother energy, because as a mother, and I work mostly in the mother consciousness, it's the gift that I got to bring in this lifetime to really explore and understand. When you're looking at something through the lens of the mother consciousness, you cannot help but see souls. I mean, because the first thing a mother does with their child, they see their soul. They're not interested in anything, how they look. I mean, they're concerned to make sure that they feel good and go through the developmental process. But there's this love in the proper archetype, in the true archetype of mother, that is solid. It's there. And it sees the soul of the child because it knows that it's been birthed from its own light and its own soul. So it understands the beauty of all human beings, and that we are all rays of light from the sun, and that we all carry that energy, even though we all have built up these archontic shells around us that that harden us and that make us play by the rules of the personality. That's this lower field. Everything is playing by that right now. I mean, but then there's the wounded emotional body that's really trying to bring itself back, heal itself so that it can attach back and give the personality as a vehicle of the divine its true emanation. Because as a person, let's just take that for a moment. As a person, you've come in to beam your light. As you know, when you look at your astrology, you've come in to beam who you are. You've come in to honor your creativity within, and to give your unique gift. The age of Aquarius is about your uniqueness. It's about the community of the whole, but it's about being who you've come to be. And so if you're different and if you don't fit in anywhere just yet, that can be really hard. And most people everybody kind of what's so funny is that almost everybody feels that way right now. But just know that honoring who you are and really getting comfortable with it and really starting to tune into it and build it and love it is the huge gift that you bring right now. We don't necessarily need to be honored by some of the fallen systems, the systems that are out there right now that are trying to come in as the savior. Unfortunately, and now they're playing a role for sure, but unfortunately, they're not coming through wisdom. When I first started the Goddess Report, we talked a lot about that. When I first started the Goddess Report, it was such a high voltage. It was hard to get some of those messages out because they might have even seemed harsh or even negative, commenting on what was happening in the outer world. But it needed to be said, some of those first Goddess Reports, because it needed to be shown that what we're seeing in the outer world is off. It's inverted and it's off. So some of these things that are coming in that are trying to take care of everyone and tell everyone what to do are a little bit misguided. It's not coming from wisdom yet. The next era is that we activate wisdom. However, right now, we have to navigate this, and we don't want to be at war. It's best to not be at war. I hate to even say that word, but there's a big movement right now that's trying to harness energy, feminine energy from spiritual people to create that reality. If you're plugged into that, all I would say is, first of all, we're all sovereign. We all get to plug into what we want, but this is all coming in different ways because I'm not writing, but this is what I was shown today to really focus on. The gift of Taurus, the esoteric gift of Taurus, is listening. It's the ability to really hear. And I'm just showing we're going to activate that in the Stargate today. When we go in the Stargate, we're going to activate inner hearing. But there's an inner hearing to our inner teacher, our inner wisdom, and there's also the ability to hear what's being said. What's happened in the media is these two polarized sides that are ancient archetypes that cannot stand each other in their extremist views. They are so triggered by each other, and the extreme sides are both out. The underbellies on both sides are very, very active right now. But what lacks is the ability to listen. And so there are some people that are getting better at it. If you can really hear what's being said, it activates a different level of response that isn't connected to the, let's call it the body of pain. It's connected to power and truth, and it opens our heart. Now, our hearts all carry a certain amount of wounds in the lower heart chamber, and we're healing those. And we got to get that stuff out first. We've got to get mad, get angry, do the whole thing. We've talked a lot about that. You've got to get it all out and learn how to channel it. There's different steps. But then the great, great power, and this is what I've been working on to go to a really new level, is listening. And listening to the earth as she speaks. Because when you start to hear, you become, it's sometimes in the divine feminine wisdom, it's called a chalice, but you become activated. It's very, it demands a lot of discipline to get to the higher levels. Sometimes we get a taste of it and then we slip right back. But to really hear, our field has to be pretty purified. And, some of the ancient lineages and the male lineages were very, very good at activating the self and just being and hearing the inner voice. But our next level that we're at now, which is the work that I'm really committed to in this lifetime, and many others probably, is the divine feminine work of now bringing that into the world and taking it into reality and bringing it into many different things that we'll talk as we go. Listening, the North Node in Taurus will heal the word by activating listening. So Uranus also has a correspondence with being able to listen to the higher mind, which is it can be like it can be like a lightning bolt of the tower if we're not ready for it. It's breaking down, it's dismantling everything. We're answering to a higher power now. So even though there's all these things happening in the world that are upsetting everybody, use this time. Even if you're someone who's really having deep restrictions putting on your ability to move around in the world, use the time. I know I've used all my time to really go in. You will be used in ways that are even beyond any kind of a protest. You'll be used in ways that where you are actually bringing in the energy that's necessary on this planet. And things like that can bring in energy as well. It's a group consciousness that starts to raise it up. But if you have a calling to really learn how to listen, receive, and then see clearly, you're going to be really, really, you'll be connecting with others who are doing this work as well. And you're just going to start to feel, you'll receive many initiations, because the more light you bring in, you might get hit with a big one and then hit with a big one and just keep going. Trust, and keep going. Does it sound like I'm speaking a foreign language? Is this coming through? I'm going to take a peek. Oh, wow, that's so cool. Ozra said he has his north node at 16 degrees Taurus. So you have Uranus conjunct right now. That's big. I'm going to take a peek down. Anyway, oh, good to see you. Does anybody want to make any comments about this? And then I'm going to try to get a coherent stream going, and then we'll go into the Light Body Stargate. Okay, I'm going to just see. She. False book. I know, but you know what? Okay. So I'm just going to keep talking. I have so much to say. You guys, I can't even begin. So it's so good to be back. So the platforms, what's happening right now is that this is also the North Node in Taurus. What's happening with the social media and technology, the big tech giants, is that everything is going very, very, very fast. Very fast. Every day. This is what we're up against energetically. We are in this time. This is the tipping point. I was going to title the video The Tipping Point. We're in the tipping point. Technology, there's some great videos out right now. I saw a super good video by Russell Brand. It was a recent one, and he's really tuning into some pretty amazing things. But just talking about how the newest thing that's become public, we've always kind of known it, but is this desire to live forever. And so all the technology companies are really investing in technology so that we can keep our body and live forever. And there's all kinds of things that are happening with this. And it's also kind of an exclusive club. So what's happening is that divide is happening where this is what's happening with the advancement of technology. The divide between those who are kind of at the top, let's call them the billionaires, and big tech, big everything. I won't say all the words, but we've got government and this and that and this and that, big everything, have all unified and are pushing the certain agendas forward very, very fast. And meanwhile, a lot of people are just distracted and so caught up in the little things that it's like, I want to say, I heard someone make make a statement that the biggest conspiracies are right in front of us. It's not what we think is hidden, it's what's right out in front of us. And so this is where listening, paying attention, and learning to see will really, really give. And it doesn't mean you have to panic, or it doesn't mean you have to get together with people and start a war, but it just means have the insight to know enough how to use your own inner technology, because that is what's awakening. And that's what we're going to talk about with Taurus. Taurus also governs our creative imagination through Venus and our ability to hold space, but it cannot happen. This is what I'm shown. That cannot happen unless we learn to love each other. We can't see it as a war between two sides like it's been really, really promoted as being. There's a lot of slander. There's been a lot of slander. I've just been shown how awful it is. There's people who are very public figures who have been slandered in ways that are just amazing. And what happens is, in that I know some of them, it's absolutely 100% not the truth. What happens is we set ourselves back as humanity when we do that, or when we follow people that are doing that. There are some things that are very, very hidden, are very, very, involved in corruption that need to come out. But you're better to cultivate your real listening so you can start to see and have your higher guidance show you. Don't allow someone else to tell you, especially if the frequencies from these specific groups are really, really not up to par where we're going. It's okay. And again, that is no judgment. One of the things for Taurus is no judgment. We talked about that. I recommend, there's a couple of the past 2 videos we did on this channel were about, we started talking a lot about forgiveness and no judgment. Forgiveness is going to be huge. Okay. Wow. All right. I'm going to look at some of the notes I put down. But we're creating the field of Avalon, the new earth. We're balancing vision, understanding, and self-awareness. Okay. I want to just say one word. How can we love each other? Like, how can we? So right now, all your fears about anything, like social media has been a tool to make people go nuts. And I'm hearing it more and more. It's also a tool that can be used in wonderful ways for communication. It's not going anywhere. There may be certain disruptions, but it has turned the human race has walked through, and where the human is literally different now because of social media. It's made humans a bit more shallow, and it's given our mind over. I think about back when I used to live in New York City and I was younger, and was when all my friends were in New York City, and I was acting and teaching yoga, and you know, it was before I got married and left and moved where I live now. I just think of how we used to gather, and that gathering was sacred. And when we gathered, we didn't have smartphones back then. So yeah, we took some pictures, but what was valuable was a human being right there in front of you. Like, it was golden. It was like we saw each other as valuable, and social media has turned it into this thing where friends are just a like or an unlike, a follow or an unfollow. One day you're my friend, the next day I just can't deal with all of this. You're gone. Like, you can rewrite your friendships in one day. You can just say, I'm done with that. I'm not connecting. It happens all the time. People are going through this big time. It's like, I like them, I don't. I like them, I don't. It's part of what we're going through. It's part of the polarity integration. But at the basic level, the most fundamental level of the divine laws of nature, if you're valuing a soul on that level, that if a friend is so much that they can come and go. Now, we all have those moments where we might unfriend someone and follow someone, and in a moment of anger, and we go back. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about just disposable people. Disposable people. My friend's a singer-songwriter. She has an album called Disposable Love. And that is so true. It's like, it's just disposable. If not you, someone else or someone else. We're going to have to remember the value. Taurus is about value of friendship, and that you're in it for the long haul with people. Now, sometimes friendships go through cycles or evolutions. I'm not friends with some people I was friends with maybe in my 20s or my 30s, but there's certain through line of family and friends. It's important that we understand the value of it. Any spiritual teaching that says just discard everybody, they don't know what they're doing, you're going to rise up with all the other, warriors of light that know what's really going on. I would be really careful about that, because we're karmically connected to people through the heart. People are not disposable. When we do make moves like that, it comes back to us in another lifetime, or even in this lifetime. We have to begin to, and I'm not trying to judge or condemn at all. I'm putting that out because I've had to learn this deeper and deeper with every year. The value of a relationship. Once you've opened hearts with someone, or you've shared with someone, that's the seed of a friendship growing. And if you just, tear it down when it's midway, you might miss the fruit of that. Seeing human beings as soul, you'll find the people that you're most connected to that are soul family, or that you really resonate with. And sometimes we do get involved with something we realize it's not for us. I had that happen. It was quite a while back, and I went through a phase where I left a huge group of people for a very real reason. But I realized years later that the way I went about it was not aligned, and I had to deal with the backlash of that energy, because the statement that I made in that moment of feeling empowered or emotional put an energy into the world that energy then had to come back and look me right in the eye, and I had to clear it and go through the pain and the sadness of realizing, even though I was meant to change or move on, the way we do it as a master energy is everything. It's everything. This is called higher love we're bringing in. So listening opens the heart and the powers. Healing the inversion of Venus, we talked about that. Be careful about information. We're bringing in the higher master frequencies, the divine feminine frequencies. A lot of the, and this isn't even to judge either. A lot of these, the billionaire guys, they, a lot of them, like that are going into space and all of these things. When you look at them, you can see that a lot of them are kind of checked out. Like they're caught up in this adventure. It reminds me of Atlantis, and they're like they've dissociated. They're dissociated from the mother and the divine mother energy and the human heart. They might love their own loved ones, of course they do, and they have good friends, but there's a higher compassion that allows us to really receive the energies of this era. And if they're cut off now, I don't give up hope with any of that. And I'm doing had some really great communications too on the inner plane with some of these souls, because some of them will cross over and become brilliant. And but some of them are on a contract with the downward spiral, and would like to just harness control. So keep an eye out for that. Keep an eye out for technology. Let's see. As far as speaking out against some of the things that are happening in the world, follow your own inner guidance. And if you're guided to do whatever you're guided to do, follow it. I'm not going to address specifics right now, but follow where you're meant to go and you will be taught. And then keep listening. Keep speaking, because you don't want to push anything down that you're meant to say, but keep listening. The higher wisdom will start to come in more and more and more. And you might realize that, oh, I felt drawn to this, but I think I realize that I can shift this way. There are people also that are considered to be, by certain groups, the evil ones, that are actually doing great work right now, and that are really going to come and be big voices in the coming years. Gossip, no, is a no-no. Because these are Venus shadows. Try not to gossip. Really catch yourself. Here, inner listening will heighten your ability to hear how you use language, and words will have more value. And in certain ways, you'll need very few words to accomplish great things. And so a power of our word is based on, this is just coming in, and I know this is based on honesty. It's based on honesty. The more honest we are, our power of our words strengthens. Now, we all have times when, we're still working on that. We might be really charismatic or able to speak. When I'm speaking now, I'm speaking in the mystical terms of the power of your word moving matter. The light finds the one who is honest, the one who respects souls, the one who has integrity, and the one who claims their power, because claiming our power is a big part of it. We have to claim power. We can't wimp out. Like sometimes we have to go through things that are really hard. And maybe in my case, I had to claim power. So I would rather just nice my way out of it and be kind to my way out of it. But sometimes you have to learn to have power. And the universe doesn't favor someone who doesn't know how to speak up for themselves. So in a way, humanity also is claiming that ability to speak up. But then once you learn how to speak up for yourself, you've got to refine it and take it to the next level and the next level. We create the world we live in. North Node in Taurus is all about that. I'm going to do a specific video for what is happening as the North Node comes together with Uranus in 2022. And that is truly, truly a moment. And so that might be the next video where it's very detailed, and I'll be a little more precise in the delivery of it. We'll have the writing and all of this. So the Earth is like Saturn. The Earth is like the lead that is being turned to gold through the alchemy. So Saturn governs the earth in mystical teachings, and Saturn is lead that is being alchemized into gold. And so just remember that everything about what we're doing right now is alchemy, including Gaia herself. Okay, I just remembered, I do want to look at this writing I did. I'm going to pull it up for yesterday. I'm going to see if anyone has any questions or anyone wants to say anything. I did a writing for the new moon, or for the full moon. It was really powerful. That was a channeled in one. Okay. How does anyone feel about any of this? Here, exactly. Yes. Yeah. How do you feel about this? Is there any feedback? Come on. I know you've got some things to say. I know all of you are so bright and so with me. First of all, so many people, I'm so like even the women I know a lot of women through my work. Um, and by the way, I'll just say this right now so I don't forget. A lot of people have written to me about doing work with me. I haven't offered anything all year. January, I'll be doing my annual 3-month women's mentorship. More on that later, but I'm saying it now in case you are waiting for it. Exciting, moving forward, listening. Oh, here is here. Yes. All creation is divine and sacred. Let's talk about how we can do that. How can we not have just judgment when something seems wrong? It's really tricky. Everybody has to find their own way. Thank you. But let me tell you, and I have to tell you with all my heart, if you want power and if you really want to go to the next level, learn that lesson. Learn what it means to not have judgment, because there is so much esoteric information around that, meaning it opens up the world to a new world and it gives you freedom. So if something needs to be done, if something's wrong and you need to stand up to it, that's claiming your power. You've got to do it directly, do it with courage, do it with strength, do it with purity, wisdom, and make it clean if you can. If you're in the breakdown stage and you need to have a meltdown, then you've got to get through that. But and then move to the next level. Once you can heal and forgive and have no judgment, you will have pure power. The other thing is, and I wrote a whole goddess report that I might bring in and read next time. Be honest. Be clean when you enter someone's space. This was, I got this download at 3 a.m. I woke up in the middle of the night. I woke up in the middle of the night. This was in September. I mean, at 3 a.m. and I was just taken, and I came out and I started writing. It was honesty. We talked about honesty opens up the power of the word and listening. Be clean in your actions. Space. Taurus rules our spaces. We have our auric field. We have our home. We have our websites, our social media platforms, our work. When you enter another person's space, be clean, be sacred, and be pure. And what that means is interact. First of all, this is huge. And I'm going to say this now. I'm glad these things that I was going to write are coming back to me. We're entering an age of full transparency with Uranus and Taurus, and with the North Node coming into Taurus. With technology is mimicking the organic situation. We're entering a time when every single thing you do and think will be seen by everybody. So if you can clean it up now, you're going to be ahead of the game. This is really, really a tricky one. It's so tricky that our thoughts are getting more and more viewable, and our actions, every little thing. So we're meant to be human. We're meant to be very human, and own it. Whatever you do, own it all the way. Whatever you're doing, own it all the way. But then we're getting more and more clear about what we're really doing in every moment, because divine humans, are aware of everything that everybody else is doing. The field, the matrix opens up. It becomes a divine community. It's the organic version of technology, and we're able to just communicate with people instantaneously, know their intentions, know their emotions about us, know not just what they say outwardly, but what they think inwardly. Now, so this has been part of my training, and I can't believe I'm going to go into this. I'm just going to tell you, when you begin to learn to really, I've worked in the Akashic record for a long time, but there's different levels of the Akashic. The deeper you go, everything is available. And so the moment you walk in, any thought, any action, anything is just right there. I've said this before, I've hinted at it, but that's not a place that the normal person would want to go. because it's a place where you see the shadow world and you see everyone's shadow and people's shadow that you know. We all have one. We have the shadow side of our own being. And when you see that, it gives you the terrors. It's like, oh my God, it makes you paranoid, suspicious. I wrote about this. I'm going to read it. Because you'll think, wow, everybody's evil, but it's not that everybody's evil. We all carry this. This is what I've been spent the past 3 months really understanding. That's why we can't judge. We all have it, and we also all have our more light side, and we're integrating those two right now. So, okay. Gaia is the divine female who touches down to the rich creative force of our thoughts and emotions. That's Gaia. This is her alchemy. Gaia is alchemizing with us. She's the Saturn, and so are we. She's the daughter, the mother, the lover. She's everything of the unseen world and spirit, but she's also the lushness of this physical world. Her elemental forces are moved by our conscious and unconscious command. We really create everything in our life. So there are multiple realities happening at once. Whatever I feel like one of you said that, I feel like somebody said this recently that I saw. Whatever you tune into, that will be the frequency that you move in. That's why I was given the master frequencies, and we'll talk about those master frequencies. It's going to carry to the next video. You want to turn to the master frequencies, you're going to just feel better. You're going to feel love. It's not denial. It's just getting your power. And then you can actually talk to people on their best side. You can talk to people through their soul and not through their ego. And you can begin to wake people up that way, because the more people taste that, they're not going to want to go back. It's so much better to just be honest and to be real and to be clear with people, and to not get caught in the murkiness of the suspicion of the labyrinth. I have written down, it's being caught in the labyrinth. Because we're moving our reality at any given time. That's what makes our frequency, and that's what determines how we vision. Gaia, okay, so she's the divine female. She's the divine feminine in this planet form. She's a divine feminine planet. She's connected to the entire cosmos. Very true. Receiving the currents of planetary and galactic fields of influence and holding humanity in her bosom. I posted this on Art of the Feminine Instagram and Art of the Feminine Facebook. So you can find my social media there. Art of the Feminine Instagram. She holds us. She's holding humanity in her bosom, providing for us during this cycle of evolutionary growth and awakening. Okay, that leads me to say we have to take care of the planet. We have to. It doesn't matter. You have to get out of the mindset of duality of, do you believe in this or do you believe in this? Both have an underbelly. One side just doesn't care. It's about money, profit, and all in the name of freedom, but it's really just the good old club. One side has taken it into a direction that is more about those people who want to live forever, if you know what I mean. So you've got these two polarities fighting each other over the planet and over the climate. We're going to create the new vortex here on this platform. We're here to serve Gaia as priestesses and as shamans and as native keepers of this land, as the holy light workers that have come to honor the planet, because the planet teaches us how to listen. Gaia, when you with Gaia and you sit with her, I'm out in nature every day. I'm a Taurus. So she's taught me everything. All you have to do is watch her changes. I'm lucky I get 4 seasons. I kind of watch day by day, and you'll hear her sound, her song, the song of Gaia. I have another thing I'd like to read. Maybe I'll post it on Instagram instead. But this is what we're here to do. So don't get caught up in, climate change or no climate change. And some of the people working for it are very, very, very real. And some of the people working against that are very, very, very political. It has nothing to do with anything that it's being pitched as. So be careful about that. There are multiple levels about why we're changing on the earth. There is an alchemy happening. It has to do with the sun and the whole precession of the equinox and the cycles that we're living in. That is what has to do with the Taurus, the work I do in the North Node entering Taurus. But we have also misused I don't even like the other word, our planet. She can teach us. Industry is fine and using resources is fine, but with respect and with sharing and with a lot human beings in general. They'll have to raise the bar spiritually. All of us. We have to just have a higher consciousness so we know what our part is. All right, let's go into the Stargate for a few minutes. I'm going to look down. Is there anything else you want to say? We'll do about a 5-minute meditation to close. We'll start to activate that. I appreciate you being with me here today. It was a little bit different. I'm wearing my Taurus, pendant, because my electricity went out, so I didn't get to do the normal writing. That's a straightforward stream, but I'm so good to see everybody, and we're going to do this meditation. We're going to start doing this meditation every single week. Been on the forefront of my mind. Yeah, your aura is everything. Lucy said the auric field has been on the forefront of my mind, being aware of my energy and being compassionate without embodying suffering or reflecting bad behaviors from others. Yeah, yes, beautiful. And it's okay to have grief. We're grieving the loss of the old world. It's changed. We've gone through we're in a deep grief process. The world we knew before March 2020 is different. And we had that video for the Saturn-Pluto conjunction in, I think it was January 12th, 2020. We did a video here. You might go back and watch that. Everything came to pass. So we're grieving because we've kind of lost the world, but we've lost our way of being with each other because of technology, social media. And luckily we had social media during this whole ordeal that we're in, but there's a bit of grief that things aren't the way they used to be. And so we have to know we are building the new. So it's okay to be sad or feel some suffering for a while, but then just give it to the goddess or give it to the Christos, give it to your spirit. And we'll do that in the Stargate. Okay, I'm going to take one more peek. Oh yeah, if you're a Taurus, yeah, that's beautiful. She said, as a Taurus, I feel a lot of responsibility, as do I. And I have Saturn and I feel great responsibility. I'm ready to go. Authenticity is a huge lesson. Absolutely. Neil, so nice to see you. It feels super accurate. The auric field. Christina, I knew it. Okay. Creativity. Okay, so Taurus is the value, what we value. Our values are changing. It's also money. Money is changing. We know that. It's also our home. It's not, Cancer represents our psychological home and the home of our mother and our mother's legacy, how she passes it to us. Taurus is really how you build your home, how you make it beautiful, how you use materials and the material world to beautify your surrounding. That includes the people. So it includes our surroundings and our communities on that level, that our home, what makes us feel like we're in a great environment. We're building that. And I want to build that here so that this video stream, the Goddess Report, is that place as well. All right, let's go in. Let's do it. Okay, so we'll just take a moment. We'll keep this one to 5 minutes. So, all right, we're going to do I am in the 7 directions. Then we'll step up onto the platform. We're going to drop our dense body, our egoic level, our personality shell. We're going to let it drop, and then we're going to walk into the circular Stargate, the vortex of energy that we're going to experience another dimension of. Just need a sip of green tea. Another dimension of human consciousness and of our creative imagination. So, all right, just repeating after me. I am before me. I am behind me. I am at my left. I am at my right. I am above me. I am below me. I am unto me. On your next breath, please take a deep, deep breath in. Breathe in as deep as you can, and then hold it. Pull your belly button back, lift up your pelvic floor, suspend it. Just taking a moment. activating the inner plane as the breath is held, and just thinking about an intention that you're carrying with you for this full moon, an intention of something you'd like to be eclipsed at this lunar eclipse, and then exhaling it all out. And activating the divine, the spiritual, and the physical plane with I am, I know, I am. I am, I know, I am. All right, and so I want you to see right in front of you, there's going to be a circular platform, a platform that is just big enough for you to step up onto it. Let's say it's about 8 inches off the ground. You're going to just, in your body, you're going to see yourself stepping up onto that platform right now. And this is like this is your portal into the Stargate. And so, or into this vortex of this reality that we're going into. And so, as you're here, I want you to imagine there's a circle, a great big, huge circle, and all of us who are gathered here live today, as well as anybody who sees this far into the future and way back in time, anyone who finds our Light Body Stargate meditation today, that you are able to see all of us gathered around this circle, around this vortex of energy, and preparing to step into it with our lighter body, our less dense body. We'll come back to our physical body now. We work with the physical body a lot, and I do a lot of work in with touch and honoring our physical body. But for this purpose, we're going to just let the really dense energetic shell drop off. We'll still have that physical body, but it's the hardening, the programmed part, the part of ourself that can be programmed is going to drop away. And so you're going to imagine that the Stargate, the platform underneath you is going to open like a sliding trap door, and that part of your body will drop right down. And so we're going to do it on the count of 3. And so just taking a deep breath in and release. So I'm going to have you inhale to the count of 3, and then as you exhale to the count of 3, you will see the platform opening up, your dense body falling through, and then you're just going to step in. Actually, don't step in yet. So take a deep breath in, 3 counts, breathing all the way in. And now as you exhale, you're going to allow the trapdoor to open and the denser part of your being to just drop. Just feel it. Oh, wow. We're all going to step in together. And so now just sense this body that you're in right now on a cellular and atomic level. Feel the light as it is vibrating and feel it tuning to a different vibration. So with the anticipation of stepping into this vortex, we're all going to step in with our right foot today. So on the count of 3, I'm going to have everyone step in with your right foot. And so 1, 2, and now on the count of 3, just lifting up your right foot, stepping off your platform, and walking into the vortex. And now just taking a deep breath in and releasing and allowing yourself now to just feel this energy, to just feel the ether that is around us. We're bathing now in the cosmic ether of the higher energy of the lunar force, the very highest energy of ether that's a mixture of solar and lunar energy. And it's just so, it's like breathing a much more pure air. And as we breathe this air, it vivifies us and it activates our emotions and our senses so that we're able to understand who we are and feel the energy of our brothers and sisters. And it's like this realization of the profound beauty and the magnificent and just glorious energy of human souls gathered together. And so our setting today is very Gaian, it's very earth-like, it's the goddess as the earth. So I want you to just take a moment and just kind of walk around. I'm working with a lot of green grass and fields, but also really been into working with the soil, the deep, rich soil right now. And so I'm also seeing some soil that you can smell. It's just so delicious to drink in the smell. Smell is also a deep quality of the goddess. If any of you who work with smell or who work with the oils know, being able to smell allows us to make contact with the divine. So just smelling the earth, the grass, the water, the oceans, the lakes, whatever it is that you have there with you, and we'll see what comes in. Seeing a starry sky with the mother goddess just spread out across the sky with lots of stars in a deep, deep, deep blue with white lights twinkling. And it's almost like also feeling galaxies and universes way, way, way beyond. And so just drinking all of this in right now, remember Gaia truly is a station to receive the galactic, and in this work we work with galactic core codes, but also the cosmic energies. And so, and the universal energies and the planetary fields are just communicating with us. Once we open to it, we realize how beautiful, and it's all at once, but it's not confusing. It's one frequency is just joy. It's so joyful realizing that we're part of all of this magnitude of life, and that this is our true eternal life and technology, and we're cultivating that here. And it's okay. Everything else that's happening outside this, we can just let it go. It's okay. Everything is okay. Once you find this place, and we all have found it, the power and the wisdom, the glory, the divine love and the truth are palpable, and we just bow, knowing that that's who we are, it's what we've come from, and we're here to make relationships and to share and to really, really shine as well. Each person is meant to shine. It's okay for you to know that you're meant to shine. And the more you shine, the more you connect with other people and see them shining and get to have unique individual experiences in your relationships, in your communities, in your friendships. In this vibration, there's more than enough for everybody, and we still get to go through challenges that bring out deeper levels of growth. We're still always being challenged to grow bigger and more aligned with other master energies, and it's so much fun. It's like if you've ever been really excited to study something, the possibilities are endless, what we can do. But right now, it's all of us here together. And so just taking a moment now, just settling where you are after sensing people around you, just take a moment and feel the energy of our friends, of our community here. Send someone a message and see if you can receive a message for someone else. I'm going to send out a couple messages. Everything is okay. It's like you're reborn here and you're forgiven. The messages I'm also supposed to say is that you are forgiven. You're forgiven. And when you free your brothers and sisters from your own grip, you free yourself and you can really let love flow. Remember, all of us with our uniquenesses are so special. And in this vibration, this is the age of Aquarius vibration, we celebrate each other and we celebrate what is authentically birthing from within us rather than having the outer less informed try to imprint us. We give off our own imprint. And so just one moment, I'm going to see. Okay. So it's here that I want to really, really plant the seeds that in this, as the North Node is moving into Taurus, that it's most valuable to come into contact, the high value of Taurus, with your inner word, your inner listening. It could be called your higher self, your spirit, and your inner teacher. And what I've discovered more and more and more is that to get to pure silence where there's nothing, and to just learn how to listen from nothingness. In other words, just let everything go until you're in the void, and then listen to the void. Begin listening. It's a really dynamic relationship. It's a very powerful relationship. And as you're listening and breathing, we're going to do a breath in just one moment. You're allowing new realities to birth through you and come up and arise like bubbles rising up from the ocean deep, the ocean floor. And so we did this, I believe, in the last couple times we met here in the Stargate, in the Light Body Stargate. I've been working a lot with a very simple breath is the 4-point breath, where you breathe in for 4, hold for 4, exhale for 4, and hold for 4 after the exhale. 4 is enough where you won't panic. It's not too long of a pause. The pause, those spaces between the inhale and after the exhale are where very dynamic creation takes place and profound realizations take place. And so when you're working with the silence and you're working from silence with a very conscious breath like this, at first you might just go in and start listening and not focus on it. But once you get it, it's intercourse. It's going back to all the old videos and the old podcasts where we talk a lot about that's intercourse. It's a sexual intercourse with the divine. We're receiving the breath and we're conceiving and birthing it. It's a constant sacred union. And so let's do it together once. You're just going to exhale all your breath out. I'll count, but if you lose the count, don't worry about it. I want to anchor that in this video. We're going to be using it every video. So just on your next round of breath, exhale it all out. And now inhale for 4, 3, 2, 1, and hold. 3, 2, 1, and exhale your breath out. 3, 2, 1, and hold out. 3, 2, 1. Again, I'll do it with you. Breathing in for 4. And hold. And exhale. And hold. One more time, breathing in. And hold. And exhaling through the nose. And hold out. The level of silence and power that I could feel come in this space just by that simple act of us breathing together. In order to breathe like that, you have to suspend judgment. You cannot breathe properly when you're judging. It's like it's this law that it was almost built into nature, because the breath is connected to the heart, and it's the air principle that connects spirit and matter. And so it's been built into our very nature that if we're attacking or we're in judgment, we can barely take that breath, and unless we're to remedy it. But it's hard to hold. It's hard to hold it. Sometimes it might be poking in or popping in, but as we breathe this way, we clear a space and we open a field for the higher energies to come in and work with us. So that's the 4-point breath. We can take it into 8-point, 12-point, but it's a set of 4. Now there's different variations, but right now we're going to be working a lot with the pause and the pause, and we'll be building on that. So while we're still in here, let's just take a moment and ask what we're supposed to receive in the next moment or two, and then we'll close out. So as we're in this Stargate with everybody, we're connecting with the goddess. Her energy is here. The Mother Earth energy, deep, deep, deep in Gaia's core, is here with us. And the cosmic womb of the goddess is here with us as well. All of this is our divine feminine principle. And the divine feminine principle is also really activating in our heart as the solar feminine principle that is uniting the above and the below for this trinity of power. And so we're just going to ask her if she can gift each one of us with a message in closing out this video today, or anything that you're meant to know about North Node transiting Taurus. We haven't even begun to talk yet about the South Node being in Scorpio. We'll be bringing that in a very, very big way next time. We're going to work with the Taurus Scorpio axis. But right now we're asking, what is my gift that I'm meant to receive in these next couple years with the North Node? North Node will enter Taurus in January 2022. I believe it's the 18th or 19th. In preparation for the North Node joining with Uranus, which is going to be a very dynamic energy, what would you like to receive? How would you like to heal? How would you like to uncover who you really are? We're going to be building a new world. And what I'm being told right now is there's no need to have fear. Let fear go. This is coming in really strong right now. Fear, there's an old occult saying, in order to fight off the demons, you need 2 things: kindness and to be fearless. Be kind in your life to everyone and everything. It's a very Buddhist principle. And be fearless. Fear nothing. Fear nothing. When you feel fearful, go to God within you. Take your fear to God or goddess. Obviously, if it's a biological warning that something's about to happen, that's a little different. We're not talking about the standard primal fears that we feel if something is about to happen. You feel an earthquake coming, or something is not right and you need to tend to it. We're not talking about that. We're talking about the fear that we carry around with us about everything. Why, when we fear each other, when we fear being seen, when we fear, teach us how to be fearless and how to read it and use fear to reveal the codes that it's really showing us. And be kind as you can. It's okay. It's okay if you fall, but be as kind as you can. Really mean it too. Help someone out. This is what what I'm hearing from her right now. Be kind to someone. Take time to be kind to someone that you normally might not stop for. Bless everyone. Bless everyone and everything. Somebody wrote in my Instagram comments yesterday on Art of the Feminine that she was feeling such great humility. I was actually hoping I'd see her today, but that's exactly what I was feeling in that moment. Be humble. Being humble makes us kind. because we realize we're really all here together. Everyone's hurting and everyone's seeking the same thing, love. Some people have fallen, some people have sold out maybe. It's okay, bless them too. It's not even for us to judge. But be kind and be kind to yourself. Be kind to each other. So just taking a moment to feel everybody here and to really, really honor each other. I vow to honor you. I vow to use the word to the best of my ability in these coming months as we're making our way through these transits, and to show up with a divine intention, to be one stream of wisdom, and to unite with those others. You know, a lot of connections between people who are very much meant to be connected at this time, I feel like I'm meant to say this right now, have not yet happened because of mistaken personality perceptions. And so if there's someone you're meant to be connecting with and something has been in the way of that, see if you can get to the bottom of it and make the connection. I know in my work, there's some people that I was really shown I'm meant to be connected with, but we will all find that in the right time. That's what the inner plane wants. It wants us to connect in the right timing, to build love and to build this network, to build this. They always show me as a spaceship. It's like a spaceship, which I love. It's a ship. And so with honor to the earth, I bow to Mother Earth, I bow to her elements. There's so much more that could come in, and bow to your air, your earth, your water, your fire, your ether. And please harmonize your beautiful elements with us and our heart chakra and our power of our word and the power of our imagination, the power of our sexuality, the power of our hands and our ability to touch each other and heal with our words, heal with our glance, our eyes, heal with our writing, heal with our actions, heal with our thoughts. And so be it, so it is, and it is done. We're going to close out. And so I'll just take a moment and bowing to all of you. Thank you for all of you who were able to stay on with me this long. It's a long video. So happy to be here. We're just going to let the Stargate open. You're just feeling the energies. All right. Thank you for being here. I'm absolutely honored. And if you enjoyed the video, please subscribe and please give a thumbs up. As always, that helps the algorithm. And I'll open up comments. If you want to come back and leave a comment that you didn't feel ready to leave, let me know how you're feeling about this format. I know it was a lot of talking today. It's going to be more, the Goddess Report is going to be a little bit more like efficient and like it's a real news report starting next time. But let me know how you liked it, what you would like to see, what kind of meditations would be most powerful in the Stargate. We're going to go in every time. And until it's so familiar to you that your life becomes that way, that you're walking around with that energy. That's what we need on planet Earth right now. Also, for all of the people who've been trying to get a hold of me to work with me, I'll be announcing something soon. I have my mentorship coming in January. It's a really special one. It's a new theme from last year, and I'll announce it in the next video. If you want to get in touch with me, you can get in touch with me. I'll leave maybe a sign up for info link on this video. You can come back and see that. And so that being said, I'm going to take a peek down. Oh, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you to all of you. Thank you. Oh, so be it, Shay. I love that. Ema, thank you. You're so welcome. Oh my gosh, I'm hearing from people all over okay, love you, love you, love you, love you, love you. Bless everyone, bless everyone, bless everyone, bless this world. Work with Gaia, be on her team. That being said, until next time, namaste.